In this lesson, we're going to go over solving equations. We're going to start off with one-step equations, and then we're going to finish off with multi-step equations. The first equation we're going to work on is 14 plus r equals 16. The objective here is to get r by itself. 14 and r are being added together. Since 14 is a positive number, we have to subtract 14 on both sides. And we end up with r equals 2. The second equation that we're going to solve is 3 equals n minus 14. In this equation, we have to get n by itself. N and 14 are being subtracted together, and 14 is a negative number, hence the minus sign right in front. The way that we move negative 14 to the other side of the equal sign is by adding 14 to both sides. On the right side, the negative 14 and plus 14 cancel each other out, and we're left with n. And on the right side, we have 3 plus 14, which gives us 17. Next, we have 110 equals negative 11 times n. If we divide each side by negative 11, we're going to find that n equals negative 10. Next, we have 7 equals k over 2. Since k and 2 are being divided by each other, the way to get k by itself is to multiply by 2 on each side. On the left side, the 2's cancel, and we're left with just k. On the left side, 2 times 7 is 14. Next, we have a over 18 equals 2 over 9. When we have two fractions on either side of the equal sign, we need to cross multiply. 9 times a is 9a. 18 times 2 is 36. To get a by itself, we have to divide each side by 9. And we get that a equals 4. Next, we have negative 6 minus n equals negative 9. The first step to get n by itself is to add 6 to both sides. Then we're going to have negative n equals negative 3. What we're looking for is n equals and then a number, not negative n equals a number. The way that we get rid of the negative sign in front of n is by dividing by negative 1 on each side. This is going to give us n equals positive 3. The last one-step equation that we're going to work on is negative 15 equals m plus 12. In order to get m by itself, we have to subtract 12 on both sides. Negative 15 minus 12 is negative 27, and this is going to be equal to m. Now we're going to start with two-step equations. We're going to have 8n minus 5 equals 65. The first step is to add 5 to both sides. This is going to give us 8n equals 70. Then we have to divide each side by 8. And this will give us n equals 70 over 8. We can simplify this fraction by dividing both the top and the bottom by 2. If we do that, we'll end up with 35 over 4. Next, we have negative 4 times 7 plus v equals 28. The first step to get v by itself is to divide both sides by negative 4. If we divide by negative 4 on the left side of the equal sign, we're going to have 7 plus v equals 28 divided by negative 4 is going to be negative 7. The last step to get v by itself is to subtract by 7 on both sides, and we end up with v equals negative 14. Next, we have negative 2 minus 3a equals negative 23. To get a by itself, first we have to add 2 to both sides. This will give us 3a equals negative 21. Then to get a by itself, we divide by negative 3 on both sides. And we're going to get a equals positive 7. Next we have 60 equals negative 5 times x minus 6. In the previous example that looked like this, we divided by negative 5 on both sides. But there's another way that we can solve this equation. We can distribute the negative 5 to the inside of the parentheses, and we will have 60 equals negative 5x plus 30. Next, we're going to subtract 30 on both sides, and we're going to end up with 30 equals negative 5x. The last step to get x by itself is to divide by negative 5 on both sides. And we will get negative 6 equals x. Next we have negative 6 equals n over negative 14 minus 5. The first step to get n by itself is to add 5 to both sides. This will give us negative 1 equals n over negative 14. Then to get n by itself, we're going to multiply both sides by negative 14. Negative 14 times negative 1 is positive 14, and that's going to be equal to n. Next we have 7 plus w over 6 equals negative 1. Messed up there. Negative 1. We're going to multiply both sides by 6. This is going to give us 7 plus w equals negative 6. And then to get w by itself, we have to subtract by 7 on both sides. This is going to give us w equals negative 13. Next we have b minus 8 over negative 2 equals 11. The first step here is to multiply both sides by negative 2. On the left side, the negative 2's cancel, and we have b minus 8 equals negative 22. Then we have to add 8 to both sides. This is going to give us b equals negative 14. Next we have 3v minus 5 equals 40. First, we're going to add 5 to both sides. Then we're going to have 3v equals 45. And then we're going to divide each side by 3. This is going to give us v equals 15. Next we have negative 8x minus 10 equals 38. First we're going to add 10 to both sides. That's going to give us negative 8 equals 48. And then to get x by itself, we have to divide each side by negative 8. And we will end up with x equals negative 6. Next we have 16 equals negative 2 plus m. The first step is to divide each side by negative 1 to get rid of the negative in front of the parenthesis. This will give us negative 16 equals 2 plus m. And then to get m by itself, we're going to subtract 2 on each side. This is going to give us negative 18 equals m. Next we have negative 8 equals 8 times negative 3 plus a. The first step is to divide each side by 8. On the left side we're going to have negative 1. On the right side we're going to have negative 3 plus a. The last step to get a by itself is to add 3 to both sides. And we will end up with 2 equals a. Now we're going to move on to the multi-step equations. First we're going to have 7b minus 7 minus 8b equals negative 15. We have to combine like terms in order to get b by itself. First we're going to combine 7b with negative 8b. 7 minus 8 is negative 1b. Minus 7 equals negative 15. Next we have to add 7 to both sides. This is going to give us negative b equals negative 8. Then to get b by itself, we divide both sides by negative 1. And we end up with b equals 8. Next, we have negative 24 equals 4n plus 4n. We can combine the 4 n's together, and we will have negative 24 equals 8n. Then to get n by itself, we're going to divide both sides by 8. Then we will have negative 4, not negative 4, negative 3 equals n. Next we have negative 7 equals 7r minus 6r. We can combine 7r and 6r by subtracting them. 7r minus 6r gives us 1r, and that's going to be equal to negative 7. Next we have 15 equals 5 times 1 minus m minus 2 times 1 minus m. The first step is to distribute the numbers on the outside of the parentheses. and we will have 15 equals 5 minus 5m minus 2 plus 2m. We can combine like terms. On the left side, we still have 15. On the right side, we can combine 5 and negative 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. And negative 5m plus 2m is negative 3m. The next step is to subtract 3 on both sides. Here we will have 12 equals and then negative 3m. The last step to get m by itself is to divide each side by negative 3. And we end up with negative 4 equal to m. Next, we have 4x minus 7x equals negative 18. We can combine 4x and minus 7x. That will give us negative 3x equals negative 18. To get x by itself, we divide both sides by negative 3. And we end up with x equals 6. Next, we have negative 57 equals negative 6 times 4 plus 5v minus 3. First, we're going to add 3 to both sides. This will give us negative 54 equals negative 6 times 4 plus 5v. Then we're going to divide both sides by negative 6. This will give us 9 equals 4 plus 5v. Next, we have to subtract 4 on both sides. This will give us 5 equals 5v. And the last step is to divide each side by 5. And we're going to get 1 equals v. The next question is 9 equals negative 3 times negative 5 minus 2n minus 6 times 1 minus 5n. The first step is to distribute the numbers on the outside of the parentheses. Next, we'll have 9 equals 15 plus 6n minus 6 plus 30n. Next, we need to combine like terms. 15 and negative 6 go together. 15 minus 6 is 9. And then 6n and 30n go together. 6n plus 30n is 36n. Next, we need to subtract by 9 on each side. This is going to give us 0 equals 36n. The last step is to divide both sides by 36. And this will give us 0 equals n. The last question that we have for today is 24 equals 4 times x minus 7 plus 8 times 1 minus 6x. The first step is to distribute the numbers on the outside of the parentheses. Next, we'll have 24 equals 4x minus 28 plus 8 minus 48x. Next, we're going to combine the like terms together. On the left side, we still have 24. We can combine 4x and negative 48x. That will give us negative 44x. And then negative 28 plus 8 is negative 20. Next, we need to add 20 on both sides. This will give us 44 equals negative 44x. Finally, to get x by itself, we can divide by negative 44 on each side. And we will end up with negative 1 equals x. If you learned something new in this video, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel,